I'm not sure I've ever seen a 49ers training camp quite like this one, with all the players coming and going almost on a daily basis, and not just a daily basis of a transaction, but it just seems like multiple transactions every day. And Thursday was no different, as the one expected move was Sky Moore. That trade has been completed. He passed the physical. He was wearing number 6. He comes over from the Kansas City Chiefs with a 7th-round pick. The 49ers send a 6th-round pick to Kansas City, but that's for the 2027 NFL draft. So Sky Moore, he showed up during practice, like I said, wearing number 6. He was warming up with the training staff on a side field, and then he did get with the offense for some 11-on-11 stuff. Didn't take place, in any team reps of any nature, but look for him to be on the field Saturday when the 49ers play the preseason finale against the Los Angeles Chargers. And so with Sky Moore, insurance at the wide receiver position, but also a guy who John Lynch said can field punts, can return kickoffs. His rookie season wasn't too sure-handed in that regard with 3 fumbles. So right now, things are looking pretty good, I think, for Junior Bergen, maybe handling those duties week 1 of the regular season. Now, the other moves, the corresponding move was actually the big move of the day, because Trey Brown, a week ago, Kyle Shanahan said that he had a heel injury. He was hoping that he'd be able to practice against the Raiders. So I don't know. This news just came out. The 49ers placed Trey Brown on injured reserve. So because he's placed on injured reserve, that ends his season. And this was a guy, when the 49ers signed him as a free agent from the Seattle Seahawks, he was a guy that was expected to play a pretty vital role as a backup in the 49ers defense. He was going to be, at least all appearances he was going to be the number 3 the number 3 cornerback, the outside cornerback, who would be the backup to Renardo Green, the backup to Diamador Lenore. But he also started off training camp at nickelback. So they slid him inside. They felt like he had that kind of versatility to play both outside and inside. But then Upton Stout came on. He played well, and he looks like he's going to be that guy if he can just get healthy. I saw him working out on a side field with the calf injury. He hasn't played in the preseason. I wouldn't expect him to play Saturday night. So Trey Brown goes on injured reserve, and what that means is he's done for the season. Now it's looking to me like the 49ers' top outside cornerback is Dallas Flowers. Chase Lucas also sees some time on the outside. I think this pretty much wraps up Chase Lucas as being a guy who will be on the 53-man roster, I would think. And then also Upton Stout and Chase Lucas are the nickelback. So that's why Chase Lucas is now vitally important for the 49ers, because he can be a backup outside corner as well as a backup nickel. Still think if Upton Stout's healthy, he starts week 1, but Chase Lucas, if nothing else, has proved that he can be a good backup, and he's had a very good training camp and a very good first 2 games of the preseason. So that's the big move. Trey Brown comes to the 49ers. They were expecting him to play a pretty important backup role on defense, but now he's out of the picture with that. The other moves were quarterback related. Brock Purdy's not going to play. I don't think any of the starters are going to play in this game against the Chargers. So what the 49ers did was, I think they went back to the quarterback that they feel most comfortable with, who knows the system better, and that's Tanner Mordecai. So Tanner Mordecai, this is his, 3rd time coming back to the 49ers this training camp. The 49ers released Nate Sudfeld, the veteran that they brought in earlier in the week when he was the quarterback throwing passes to some of the wide receivers who came in for tryouts. So more than likely, the 49ers will go into this game Saturday against the Chargers with the 2 quarterbacks, and they'll be getting a lot of playing time each. That's Carter Bradley and also Tanner Mordecai. Mac Jones has the knee sprain. It's considered a minor injury. They expect him back for the start of the regular season. He'll be the backup to Brock Purdy, and I wouldn't think that Brock Purdy will even see the field. I would think a lot of the 49ers players won't see the field in this game. So it's going to be, a lot of the young guys fighting for spots. And as I mentioned, there are a lot of spots. People get caught up in the 53-man roster, but by and large, with the 16 practice squad spots available too, that becomes a lot of opportunities for some of the players, some of the borderline players, some of the bubble players to find a home with the 49ers during the course of their regular season. A couple of things from the practice that the 49ers had on Thursday. Jake Moody, who of course has had a very good training camp. In the practices, also in that game against the Raiders, making the 44-yarder with 37 seconds left, the 59-yarder to win it. He had definitely an up and down day on Thursday. He made his first 3 kicks from distances that moved back, and then his last 2 kicks, he missed the first one wide left, he missed the next one wide right, and so all in all, not a great day for Jake Moody. But guess what? He's going to be the 49ers kicker to open the season, and there's really no question about that. This was kind of the first practice of training camp where I thought, like, man, the dog days are here. Things were a little bit chippy. It just, you could tell that the legs are maybe a little bit tired coming off of a very long practice on Wednesday. Today wasn't quite as long, but still it went from went for almost 2 hours, I guess it was. Oh, no, less than that. Practice ended around 1 p.m. and started, I think, at 11:20. So most of the guys out there, Robert Beal came back. He had missed some time with a groin injury. Nick Bosa was out there. Christian McCaffrey and Isaac Guerrero shared most of the first team reps. Again, Connor Colby was at right guard, filling in for Dominic Pooney, who I saw working out on a side field. It still remains kind of a little bit of a concern, or maybe a lot of a concern for the 49ers, whether he'll be available to play week 1 against the Seattle Seahawks. A couple of plays of note. Brock Purdy looked sharp again, feeding the passes to George Kittle and also to Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall had another good day. Kind of the more interesting play of the practice was a pass from Purdy to Kittle, which tipped off his hands and went right to Demarcus Robinson. Demarcus Robinson remains available to practice while the NFL is going through the appeals process. As Kyle Shanahan said on KNBR on Wednesday, 49ers fully expect him to be suspended for 3 games to start the regular season. Some of the plays that touchdown, but Isaiah Hodgins had a good day. The veteran wide receiver made some catches on this day. In fact, probably caught more passes than just about anybody else. So Isaiah Hodgins, very much in competition with Russell Gage, who had the injury, the MCL sprain to his knee. And so the 49ers expect him to be ready for the start of the regular season. And Hodgins also in competition for Robbie Chosen for one of those spots, those veteran spots where the 49ers are running thin on wide receiver. And then we'll see, of course, how Sky Moore fits into the entire picture. And I did mention Chase Lucas earlier in this video. He probably came through with the best defensive play of the day when he broke up a pass intended, a Brock Purdy pass, by the way, intended for Ricky Pearsall. So all in all, 49ers, they go through this practice, and now they're ready for the preseason game. We'll see. It just seems like a lot of moving and shaking on that roster, as even injuries we don't see on the practice field. It seems like the next day we find out about them. But looks like, anyway, from my vantage point, that the 49ers made it out of this practice okay. They'll have a day off from practice, a walkthrough on Friday, and then they play the Chargers on Saturday. And the number one goal is that nothing happens in the game Saturday that impacts any decisions that they're going to have when it comes to Tuesday and piecing together their 53-man roster. But the big news of the day, and the one thing that will have an impact on the 53-man roster, is Trey Brown won't be on it, out for the year with an injury. So that's the latest from Santa Clara, from practice. Thanks for watching this video, and that is it for now.